Ford Excursion fans slash owners slash mechanics slash do-it-yourselfers. My name is Chris. I want to do a quick video regarding Ford Excursion rear vent motors. I think it's not common but not unheard of that these go out. I've heard people indicate that it could potentially be the switch at the console up front that controls the vents, and not in my case. Maybe in somebody else's case, but in my case it was definitely the motor. I had positive 12 volt to my passenger side motor and it was not opening or closing. The truck was new to me. It did not open and close when I purchased the vehicle, but I wanted to definitely look into the motor prior to buying a new one. They are on Amazon for roughly a little over 50 some odd dollars. I'm not sure about eBay or any other source, but I found them on Amazon. And they're simple to get. You could have them within 2 days if you have Amazon Prime. But what I did is I pulled the motor loose, which was 3 1/4 inch bolts. And prior to disconnecting it, I turned the pivot arm, which connects there with a simple ball joint, and went back up to the switch on the overhead console and told the motor to go one way or the other, and it actually turned. So what it was is it was bound up. And I removed the motor and I put it on my bench vise here in my garage, and they're not serviceable. You can't really remove the covers. There's no way to access these unless you basically pry the cover off. It is electronically sound welded or glued on, as you can see right here. I was able to simply get a average size flathead screwdriver in between this cover on the edges, and I was able to pry it off without breaking anything, and it just popped off. I mean, you can see some of the residue right there. It isn't tacked in all points along the edge, so it popped off fairly easy. And what I found out why it was bound up is, if you see here, the grease that came from the factory over time has turned into basically a hard paste slash sludge. So I have been slowly removing that. I didn't want to use any harsh degreaser or anything along those lines because I didn't want to damage the internal motor. But I am pulling that off, and then I went back and tested the motor, and it was definitely bound up due to the grease. So I've got a majority of it all out from the motor. I haven't been able to remove the gear. I think that is either pressed in or bound in, but as you can see here, this stuff I've already treated and it's become quite jelly, consistency of jelly, or it's softened up significantly. But I've been using actually a gun cleaning agent that I use for bores on guns, and it worked quite well. That way it wasn't a harsh degreaser and it wouldn't have anything to do with the plastic or the gearing. And then I'll tackle this, and then I plan on just using some Gorilla super glue here to get this cover back on. But I hope that that potentially can help if anybody was going to have to replace their window motors. Try this first, and if you don't have the tools, it's pretty simple. You could either just hold it on the bench or lock it up like this and pry that off there. So I wish you guys the best and enjoy your vehicle. Take care.